Here we are looking at an object type. This is a different data type. An object is the universal data type. So you can read about it here. I'll show you some examples of how we can use that in a program. So this is going to be week 3, program 2. So let's look at what we're going to do for a program. It's going to look like this. So let's jump over to the programming software. So let's start off by creating some object data types. So object, and we're going to make up 2 variables, container 1 we're going to make that equal to 5. So that is actually a numeric value of 5. Let's make up another one. Call this container 2. And we're going to make that equal to the text string 5. So that is essentially a string variable. But you can see it has accepted both of these because an object can basically be any data type that you want. So it is a variable, it doesn't have a defined data type, but you can put whatever you want into it. So once you do that, you can get and then use that however you want to use it. So for example, let's make another variable here. Make something called sum, an integer called sum. Let's define sum as equal to container 1 plus container 1. So basically container 1 added twice. Now you see if I do this, it doesn't like this. It says you have an error here. So I can't take 2 object variables and add them together. That is a math function. I'm not allowed to do that. But what I can do is say, okay, I have my object variable here. What if I want to say, okay, what I put in that object variable, look at that and give me the integer value of that. So if I can cast that, basically remember that casting, we can say, give me the integer value of container 1 plus the integer value of container 1. If I do that, now it's saying, look at what I put into that object variable and understand that it's a number. Give me the integer value of that number. So that's what I'm doing there. So take the integer value of that object variable, add it to the integer value of the object variable, add those 2 things together, give me a sum. So that's one way you could use something like this. So if you really don't know what you're going to be using that data for, so if you're entering data from the screen but you're not sure how it's going to be used in your program later on, you could store it as an object temporarily. That'd be one of the applications for this. So a little demonstration of how that would work there. So according to the program we're trying to do here, let's look at what we're going to output here. So we're going to do some console writes. And concatenate that with container 1. So let's look at this. Rid of this here. Alright, so that should be our program. Let's give that a try. And this should give me basically the number 5 and then the text of 5. So it's basically still able to operate with those object variables, just treating them two different ways. The first one as an integer, the second one as a text string, but basically just able to manipulate both of those still. So that's kind of a rough rundown on how to use object variables, just understanding that is what they are. That's how you can use them. That will come more into play later on in the course. That is object variables.